So some other advice that I have for coaches is to set the tone immediately as far as this is set the tone immediately that this is a time that there's a lot to learn and that focus and listening is important, but at the same time, keep it fun. Mix it up as far as the academic portion and the fun portion.
You may have already said this, but what rewards are there to you as a debate coach?
One of the biggest rewards as a debate coach that I have found is just to get a look into these young minds. Their perspective can be really refreshing and different than what you would assume that they would think. So just to get some insight into how these younger people are thinking.
Again, Sarah, you may have said this, but what's a challenge and how did you overcome it? Do you feel like you've already answered that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What's a challenge and how did you overcome it?
One of my biggest challenges with coaching debate, and I've found it to get easier as time goes on, but time management has been a challenge. My classes are 1 hour once a week, and that hour flies by. There are so many things that I didn't get to, that I wanted to get to. I've been able to overcome that by prioritizing, and it helps having a year under my belt, but now that I see the big picture, I'm able to pick the things out of the curriculum that I find most important and that I find will work best with my students.
Do you think the curriculum actually supports more than a 12-week lesson plan? In other words,
so the thing about that is whether it's if you're preparing for a tournament or not.
Yeah.
Like 12 weeks for a non-tournament session is good.
Okay, I won't even go there.
I don't think you need more.
Let me ask you this.
So.
I think you might have already answered that. Can you discuss briefly why this curriculum works for you, particularly?
This curriculum really works for me because it is so organized and so clear. The language is very easy to understand, and I don't want to minimize it or make it sound juvenile in any way, but the language is so clear. Again, you don't need to know anything about debate before diving into this curriculum, and it explains the process, it explains the fundamentals in a very clear way.
I think you did answer this because you talked about jumping around, but if you want to elaborate, my question is how do you keep the lessons interesting? I think you said that somewhat. Is there more you had to say on that?
And I think Melanie nailed it too, just with the games and activities.
Yeah, I think you said, you kind of talked about jumping. Okay, finally.
Although there is...
Go ahead.
There's some... sometimes when we're in the middle of a class and I'll find the students are getting antsy or we've had a little bit too much lecture or discussion about fundamentals of debate, and I'm finding that they're getting antsy. So the other important thing that I'll say to new coaches is to keep it flexible and keep your weekly plan flexible, that if you're in the middle of something and you find that it's just not working, be able to switch modes. Or in a lot of cases, I'll stop what we're doing and we'll get up and do some body or vocal exercises just to move around and get the wiggles out.
What's your favorite activity in the debate curriculum?
My favorite activity in the debate curriculum is to throw out a topic from the many debate topics that are given to the coaches in the curriculum and just have a free-for-all brainstorm session with the kids and watch them come up with evidence just off the top of their heads and watch them refute each other with that evidence. And it's the free-flowing discussions that are my favorite.
Finally, in your opinion, is there an element of the curriculum that you think is the strongest? And I guess I mean, I don't know what I mean by strongest at this point. Does it mean building? It could mean either empower the kids the most or
Right.
teach the
Or
most.
coach. So I find the curriculum strong both for the coaches and the students. I find the strongest element of the curriculum for the coaches is the organized way that the lessons are presented. The strongest element for the students, I think, is the way that the curriculum mixes the academic side to it and the games and the activities. It keeps the kids engaged, which is a huge role in debate. So my advice for first-time coaches, and I wish I had had some advice before I started 2 years ago, but most importantly, before you even commit to being a coach, know that you feel comfortable managing a classroom, because the worst thing is to have the kids run over you or run amok. My advice to coaches is to start off immediately by setting a tone of who's in charge. You are in charge. You're not there to be a dictator or be militant in any way, but you are in charge. You are the leader. You are who the students are looking up to for guidance, and they are looking up to you to teach them debate.